And got Dave and Gary from the reegs. First, I mean, we know that you, Dave, and Reg, 2/3, was one half of the Chameleons.
Yeah, that's right.
So let's start with Gary. Where did you come into this?
Well, I've known Dave and Reg for about, is it 10 years now? Yeah, something like that.
Give me your age away, yeah.
Yeah, well, when we was younger, we used to actually support the first band that was ever in Mellors with me, and we used to support the Chameleons. And that's how we got to know them.
Right.
I got to know Dave and Reg, and they're just looking for someone to do vocals. Reg wasn't really happy with doing the vocals, so...
They wheeled you in?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right. I mean, it's a new LP, but all the stuff, am I right, has been out before?
Apart from 2 of the tracks, Turn It Up.
Which we're going to play in a minute.
Yeah, and These Days.
Right.
Yeah, it's more of a compilation album, really.
Right. Was that frustrating at all, or did you want to put an album of new stuff out?
We'd rather have done, because we've got new material, but the way Imaginary works, you know, they've not got the same budget as a major and what have you.
No.
Like the first 2 Mock Turtles albums was compilations, a similar sort of thing, but in a lot of ways it's alright, because, you know, we're not like a chart band or anything, so it's new to a lot of people.
Yeah,
so in a way we're happy about it.
Because that track and All Tomorrow's Parties were on the some of these tribute albums.
Tribute albums, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So do you like doing other people's stuff as well?
Until Imaginary, really, we'd never really bothered. We'd done a version of, we did a Beatles one with the Chameleons. Tomorrow Never Knows,
yeah.
And we did Splitting in Two by ATV.
Yeah.
Did John I'm Only Dancing, and just for fun, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you do get a big kick out of doing someone else's stuff, because you can just do it totally different.
ATV, I've not heard them for ages. Remember Action Time Vision by ATV?
Yeah.
That was a brilliant record.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variety, though. I mean, you know, some people might have expected, you might find that sort of wall of guitars quite familiar, but there's all sorts of stuff on this, like banjo things and things like that.
Again, that was just something like, a mate of ours had a banjo and he asked me to string it up for him and what have you. And I'd never played one in my life, so me and Reg just knocked a tune together, really. Yeah. It was just something that a bit spontaneous, really.
Right. I mean, let's sort out the obvious. What happened with the Chameleons? We had John, the old drummer from the Chameleons, on because he played a session with his band, Weave World.
Yeah.
So what happened at the end of the Chameleons? Are you still friends?
When I see John, we get on, but I never see Mark. Me and Reg are very close, you know. Been together. Me and Reg have been together since nursery school. We did drift apart quite, you know, rapidly towards the end, but there was no official break, if you know what I mean. We just drifted apart. But no, we don't really get on anymore. No, me and Reg do, but
So you never see Mark now?
No.
I don't know what he's up to, actually. He's been very quiet. Do you find this thing, we were talking while that was on about the Chameleons' wall of guitars, and there are a lot of bands around at the moment. I can think of like Chapter House and Ride, and even to a degree the Telescopes we've played, and Curve and people like that. And that sound, that sort of wall of guitar sound, the vocals sort of straining through it, that the Chameleons were doing what? I mean, how long ago? It seems sort of a bit ahead of its time, really.
I think it turns out that way a lot, you know. Bands that often split up and whatever, you know, years later become sort of cult stars, and I don't know, it just seems the way that's the music business is. I don't know. Because when we was going in the Chameleons, we used to get a lot of sort of iffy press, you know, 50-50 I suppose, but we were never like a press favourite band or anything. But it seems like after you split up, enemies saying how good you was and things like that, and when we was going, we could never get a look in, you know.
I know. Is that really frustrating? Because like there are a lot of people getting all dewy-eyed and nostalgic about the Chameleons now, and you couldn't get arrested at the time by some people.
Yeah, it's true. I get arrested a lot now, like, but that's another story.
Right. What's a reeg then? R-E-E-G-S. What is a reeg? Is it anything, or did you just make it up?
No, a mate of mine had it on his guitar amplifier. I am for the reegs, and it was my brother's band, and I always thought, what's a reeg? And then when we was looking for a name, I just turned around and said, what is this reegs business? And apparently it's a stick-like science fiction character from a bloke called Philip K. Dick. He's like a famous, you know.
I've heard
and
of it.
It's one of the characters from one of his books, so we just thought the reegs. Everyone thinks it's to do with Reg, but it isn't really.
Right.
Reg with the spelling mistake.
Yeah.
Is that Philip K. Dick? Is that him out, Fish out of Marillion? Oh no, that's Derek Dick, isn't it?
I mean, it's going down there.
Reg is still doing the covers, you know, and I mean, it's a bit of a sort of science fiction epic itself, this cover, as is his what? It's a mythical mutated monsters. Actually, that sounds like a billing for Castle Donington Monsters of Rock, doesn't it? Is there a bit of a sci-fi fixation going on here?
You know what it is with Reg? He's good at art and everything, and he's always done the chameleon stuff, so we thought, you know, people recognise the connection with the sleeves, and you've got to sort of stand over him with a baseball bat to get him to do it, like, but he always comes up with something good in the end, so he, you know, rather than get someone else to do it, he keep it within the band and that.
Yeah, so where's Reg today then? What's he doing?
He's been to Birmingham. Don't know whether he's back yet, but he's been to Birmingham.
He's probably he's sat in front of the telly with some custard creams, isn't he?
Yeah,
and a cup of coffee.
Creams, yeah.
He's a bit of an home bird, Reg. He likes to sit in and that sort of
Because
stuff.
it sounds good. What a lucky josser, with some custard cream. Was it difficult for you, Gary, coming in? I mean, I know you'd known them for a long time, but obviously they'd had a certain reputation and a certain sound that people associated with Reg and Dave. Was it difficult for you coming in singing?
I wouldn't say so, not really, no. No, I didn't even think about it, because I've known them as friends, and they was in a band as well, and we supported him. We were, you know, when we were younger, so it didn't really.
I can see the point you're trying to make there in a way, because a lot of people, you know, I'd be pretty daunted to follow someone like that.
I was going to say, it's not as daunting as what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I tend to think the Reegs are trying to do something different anyway. You know, like, as you can tell from the album, there is a few different styles there. We've not really sorted out what direction we're going in yet, because at the moment we're working on a bit of sort of dance music and stuff, but Gary does a lot of the keyboards and what have you as well, so I don't know, he seems to fit in well, but again, we're not looking to follow the Chameleons in any way. I think that might disappoint some people, but
totally separate.
You know, we're trying to do something different here. You know, maybe not to make a career out of it, as in Top of the Pops and all that, but to try and make new music and just turn people onto the music that we're making, and not particularly looking for fame and fortune. I mean, the Chameleons never really did either. But I think more so with this band, we're just looking to make good music, really.
So do you think, in a way, I mean, even though you have been working on these tracks, have come out on compilations, this is, I suppose, to most people, the first Reegs release. I mean, you think it's quite good that there's been that length of time between the two?
I do, in a way, yeah, because, you know, it's give us time to sort of develop a little bit and suss out what we want, whereas when Mark and John left the band, they got into the Sun and the Moon thing really quick, and it was too quick, really, to sort of, it was just almost carrying on what the Chameleons was doing, and I think it was doomed to failure. Whereas I think with us, we will stick together. That's one of the things, we've got quite a loyalty to each other already.
There does seem to be quite a sort of band of loyal fans. I mean, there's some of whom turn out to see Weave World now.
That's right, yeah.
So, are you playing live at all?
The only thing we've done live at the moment was for Key 103. We did a session for them, and we are getting off.
That's another radio station, I believe. Is it? I think possibly.
But we get offered a lot of gigs, but again, until we can sort of get something where people really want to come and see us play, you know, we don't want to sort of support someone third on the bill and go back to where we was. You know, we want to try and sort of get somewhere with the records and maybe get a demand to see the Reegs play, rather than go out sort of
for the sake of
for the sake of doing it, really.
Right, you must be one of the few bands in Manchester who are not playing at the Cities in the Park festival, I think. Everyone else is on there.
We'll be there, though. We'll be going.
You going?
We'll probably be selling ice cream now or something.
Ice pops.
Well, we've given away tickets tonight. You should enter our competition. You won't have to pay
this one.
Yeah, I'm not giving you. Got to enter it, and I've given it out twice.
You're shocking.
And I'm not doing it anymore. Right. So this album's out now.
Yeah.
And so are you cracking straight on to do some brand new stuff, which you're going to release?
We're writing at the moment, actually.
Yeah.
We was due to go to America to do some recording there, because I've been doing a bit of producing in America and that.
Oh, have you? Producing who?
I produced an album in New York by a band called The Crocodile Shop. And I've produced some tapes for a band from Philadelphia called Our Fading Smiles. And they've got their own studio and what have you. So we're hopefully going to do our next recordings in America.
That'd be all right. You can have a holiday at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's the idea of it, really, yeah.
Okay. Right, well, and probably, or possibly, you're going to come in and play live on the programme.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
sometime.
great,
We got it all together. All right, Dave and Gary from the Reegs, thanks a lot for coming. We're going to play a song called Turn It Up. This is one of the new ones, and you're singing on
New
this, Gary.
tracks, yeah.
Okay, the Reegs from Return of the Sea Monkeys, Turn It Up.